The 1971 error UK Elizabeth V new pence coin, collection, or an old jar tucked away for decades and your fingers brush against a small silver coin dated 1971. You turn it over, glance at the words 5 new pence, and think nothing of it until you notice something strange. The shine, the lettering, or maybe the design just doesn't look quite right. And then as your curiosity grows, you realize that what you're holding could be worth a fortune, not just a few pounds, but hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds. The year was 1971, one of the most important years in British monetary history. It was the year of decimal day, when the United Kingdom officially abandoned its centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system in favor of the new decimal system. Overnight, the way people counted money changed forever. Among them was the 5 new pence coin, first introduced to replace the old 1 shilling coin. Made of copper nickel, weighing 5.65 grams, and measuring 23.59 millimeters in diameter, this little coin carried a lot of meaning. It represented modernity. The first and perhaps most valuable type of error is the off-metal strike. In this case, the coin was accidentally struck on the wrong metal blanket planchet intended for another denomination, new penny, or a new pence coin. This mistake results in a coin that's either smaller, lighter, or a different color than normal. Imagine a 1971 5 new pence coin struck on a bronze penny blank. It would appear copper-colored instead of silver. Such coins are unbelievably rare, and if authenticated, could fetch £10,000 to £50,000, or even more if it's in perfect condition. Another stunning variety is the double-struck error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the minting press, creating a doubled image of the Queen's portrait or the lettering new pence. Some of these double strikes are slightly rotated, resulting in a ghostly, almost moving appearance on the coin's surface. These dramatic errors can easily sell for £2,000 to £8,000, depending on the visibility of the doubling and the overall state of the coin. Then there's the off-center strike, one of the most visually fascinating errors of all. This occurs when the coin blank is not correctly positioned in the press during minting. The result, part of the design is missing, and part of the blank planchet remains visible. The more extreme the off-center strike, the higher the value, with examples known to sell for £5,000 to £15,000. There's also the planchet error, where the coin blank itself is flawed, maybe cracked, clipped, or incomplete. Some 1971 coins show partial blanks, where a small section of the metal is missing, usually along the edge. These are known as clipped planchet errors, and depending on how dramatic the flaw is, they can fetch anywhere between £500 and £3,000. Imagine that moment you find a 1971 5 new pence coin. Something looks off, you send it to a professional grading service like in GC or PCGS. One of the rarest and most valuable coins ever struck in modern British history. Yes, we're talking about the 1982 error UK Elizabeth 20 pence coin, a coin so rare that collectors around the world would pay hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds to get their hands. It looks ordinary at first glance, but there's something about it, something strange. You grab a magnifying glass, take a closer look, and then your heart starts pounds. The year 1982 was a big one for British currency. It was the first year the 20 pence coin was introduced, part of a new generation of decimal coins. Following the success of decimalization in 1971, the coin was designed to bridge the gap between the 10p and 50p denominations, making it a convenient addition to everyday transactions. Made of copper nickel, weighing 5 grams, and with a distinctive 7-sided shape, the 20 pence coin quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. Another known rarity is the off-metal strike. Normally, 20 pence coins are struck on copper-nickel blanks, but occasionally, blanks meant for other denominations like bronze pennies or even foreign coins find their way into the presses. A 1980 to 20p coin struck on a bronze blank would appear with a copper color instead of silver, immediately standing out. These types of off-metal strikes are highly collectible, with values ranging from £5,000 to £50,000, depending on the condition and the exact metal composition. Then there are the off-center strikes, where the coin blank wasn't positioned correctly in the press during minting, causing part of the design to appear misaligned or missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. An off-center 1980 to 20p coin could easily fetch £1,000 to £10,000 or more if it's in mint condition. But perhaps the most spectacular 1982 errors are the double-struck coins, where the coin is struck twice, sometimes rotated between strikes, creating a doubled image of the Queen's portrait or the lettering 20 pence. These coins look almost surreal, as if they're moving right before your eyes. Collectors go crazy for these because they're visually stunning and undeniably rare. Depending on how dramatic the doubling is, these can sell for anywhere between £1,000 and £8,000. So how do you know if you found one of these treasures? Start by carefully inspecting the coin. Check the date 1982. Rotate the coin is the queen's head perfectly aligned with the reverse design. If not, you might have a rotation error, another valuable variation that can bring in £1,000 to £5,000. If you think you found something unusual, it's vital to get it authenticated. Professional grading services like NGC or PCGS can verify the error, grade the coin, and encapsulate it for protection. Once it's certified, you can be sure of its legitimacy and true market value. Today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and potentially valuable coins ever struck by the Royal Mint, the 1971 era UK Elizabeth II Pence coin. This isn't just another coin story. This is about a small piece of metal that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds, and many collectors still have no idea they might be holding one right now. Let's talk about what makes the 1971 coin so special. Most of the coins minted that year were perfectly ordinary. They were made from copper nickel, weighed around 9.5 grams, and had a diameter of 28.5 millimeters. But collectors have discovered that a few rare examples show striking errors, planchet errors, and even die misalignments that dramatically increase their value. Another incredible rarity is the off-center strike error. In this type of minting error, the coin wasn't positioned correctly during striking, causing the design to appear off-center with part of the blank planchet visible. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. Some examples have sold for £1,000 to £3,000, or even more in pristine condition. Now here's where things get even more exciting. There have been reports of proof like 1971 new Pence coins that were never meant to be released for circulation. These are coins with a mirror-like finish, likely test strikes, or special pieces struck for internal use at the Royal Mint. A genuine example of a 1971 new Pence proof error could easily fetch £10,000 to £20,000 or more, especially if authenticated by a major grading company like NGC or PCGS. Let's talk about condition, because this is crucial. Even a minor error can be worth little if the coin is worn or scratched. But a mint state, or proof like 1971 error coin can multiply in value many times over. For example, a daub-struck 1971 coin in perfect mint condition could bring £1,000 to £5,000, while an off-metal error in pristine condition might go for £20,000 to £50,000. Add in the historical significance of being from the first decimal year, and you're looking at one of the most desirable, modern British coins ever struck. Now imagine this: a unique mule error, or major off-metal strike, being authenticated by a leading grading company. It could easily set a new record, possibly breaking into 6 or even 7 figures. That's right, a single 1971 coin could potentially be worth £1 million or more. This is the fascinating story of the 1983 era UK Elizabeth £1 coin, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight, in an old purse, a drawer, or a forgotten jar of change. And if you're lucky enough to have one, its value could be in the hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds. Imagine finding a simple £1 coin, something you probably held thousands of times, and realizing it could be worth more than a luxury car, or even a house. Let's start by setting the stage. The year was 1983, a significant time for British coinage. The £1 coin had just been introduced, replacing the old paper £1 note that had been used for decades. The new coin was bold, modern, and designed to stand the test of time. It was made of nickel brass, giving it that distinct golden color, and it featured the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Arnold Machin on the obverse. On the reverse, so, how much could this tiny coin really be worth? Well, depending on its condition, provenance, and authenticity. Experts estimate that a genuine 1983 new Pence era £1 coin could fetch from £10,000 to £30,000 or even more at auction. Some collectors believe that, given its historical significance as the first coin and one of the greatest minting blunders in modern British history, a flawless example could easily reach £50,000 or even 7 figures in the right market. But the new Pence blunder isn't the only type of error from 1983 that has shocked collectors. There are also reports of 1983 £1 coins struck on the wrong planchet coins, minted on metal blanks intended for other denominations. These off-metal strikes are exceptionally rare. For instance, a £1 coin struck on a 20p or 50p blank would be lighter, thinner, and smaller than normal. Such coins can command prices of £5,000 to £30,000, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Another highly collectible variety is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank is not correctly aligned in the press during striking, causing part of the design to appear off-center. The more dramatic the misalignment, the higher the value, with the most extreme examples fetching to £1,000 to £10,000. Then there's the double-struck error, where the coin is struck twice by the minting press, creating a doubled image of the Queen's portrait, or the lettering £1. Some double-struck 1983 coins have sold for £1,000 to £5,000, particularly if the doubling is clear and visually striking. If you have any 1983 £1 coins, especially those still sealed in original packaging, it's worth examining them closely. Look carefully at the lettering on both sides, the edges, and the alignment of the design. Even the tiniest difference could make all the difference. If anything looks unusual, spelling errors, off-center images, or mismatched design, have it checked by a reputable coin expert or grading service, such as NGC or PCGS. The 1971 era UK Elizabeth I new penny coin. What if I told you that this little coin could be worth not just a few pounds, not just hundreds, but thousands or even millions of pounds? Yes, you heard that right, millions. Because hidden among the countless one new penny coins minted that year are a few astonishing minting errors that have turned ordinary copper coins into some of the most valuable treasures in the world of numismatics. Let's rewind time to the early 1970s. It's 1971, a historic year for the United Kingdom. After centuries of using the old monetary system of pounds, shillings, and pence, the country was on the brink of monumental change. Decimalization Day, or Decimal Day, as it became known, arrived on February 15, 1971, transforming the entire British currency system forever. The new decimal coins were simpler, modern, and designed for a new era. The coin itself was crafted from bronze, weighing 3.56 grams, with a diameter of 20.32 millimeters. Some of the most extraordinary errors from this year involve off-metal strikes, coins struck on the wrong metal blanks. For example, a 1 new penny struck accidentally on a planchette meant for a 5 new pence coin would appear silver instead of bronze, or even rarer. One struck on an aluminum or foreign coin blank. These off-metal errors are spectacularly rare, and if authenticated, could be worth anywhere between £10,000 and £50,000, depending on condition. Then there are double-struck errors, where the coin is struck twice by the dies, creating a doubled image of the Queen's portrait or the words new penny. These are among the most visually dramatic and collectible mistakes. The doubling can make the letters look shadowed or ghosted, and if it's clearly visible to the naked eye, collectors go wild for it. Double-struck 1971 1 new penny coins can fetch to £1,000 to £8,000, especially if they remain in excellent condition. Another incredible error type is the off-center strike, where the coin blank wasn't properly aligned during minting. This produces a coin with part of the design missing or shifted to one side, leaving a blank crescent along the edge. These errors not only look fascinating, but are also highly valuable, depending on how severe the misalignment is. A 1971 off-center 1 new penny can easily sell for £5,000 to £15,000. Another exciting variety is the die rotation error, a subtle but captivating mistake where the obverse and reverse don't line up correctly. Hold the coin upright with the Queen's head facing you, and flip it, the reverse should also be upright. But in a die rotation error, these errors can sell for anywhere between £1,000 and £5,000, sometimes more for extreme rotations. Condition, as always, plays a massive role in determining value. A circulated 1971 error might still bring in thousands. Coins graded and certified by professional organizations like NGC or PCGS often fetch premium prices because buyers trust their authenticity.